Hello everyone, my name's Daniel. Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, why is kicking a dog wrong? Well, that question has sent me down a rabbit hole. Not because I like kicking dogs, but because it got me seriously thinking about where our sense of right and wrong comes from. And then this idea is called emotivism. I first heard of this idea from Alex O'Connor. There's not a lot of content on this area, so hopefully you'll learn something from the video. Let's ask a few questions to see if we can figure out if feelings are the starting ground for our morals. Pretend that you see a dog getting kicked, and your first response is, that's wrong. Now, if I ask you, why is it wrong? Most people would probably say, because it causes the dog pain. That's fair, but then I ask you, why does it matter to you if the dog is experiencing pain? Most people would say something like, because I love animals, I don't want them to suffer, I'm feeling empathy for it, maybe a little bit of anger and protectiveness. And this is the whole point that the emotivist is trying to make, is that these are feeling reactions that you're having, and this is the core of your judgment. And that's what makes the action feel wrong when you see something like that. And I could try this line of questioning with anything. So if it's any of your morals, if it's murder, stealing, no matter where you start, you're going to end up at the same place, which is a feeling. Pretend that you have the opposite reaction towards the dog getting kicked. You did not feel sadness, you did not feel empathy, and only indifference. Would you still say it's wrong? Maybe, but without that emotional response, what are you really saying? It's like using a word you don't believe, because it's emotion that's giving the judgment any meaning. And that's really what emotivism is trying to point out. Another interesting way of looking at this is, imagine that you're given a choice to save your partner of 20 years or save 100 strangers. And if you choose one, the other dies. Most people are going to choose their partner, as would I. It just feels like the right thing to do. But if you swap out that partner, that one person, for a stranger, it now seems a lot more obvious to choose the 100 people. And this shift in what feels right between choosing your partner and now all of a sudden you're choosing these 100 people, because you're taking out that emotional bond you have towards somebody, and that no longer feels right to do. It feels, now the only feeling you have is your care for the greater good of the human species. And so either, no matter which way you look at it, you're using some kind of emotion to dictate what you think is right or wrong. It feels wrong to choose the one person who's a complete stranger because you'd feel terrible with yourself. You feel so guilty for letting 99 more people die. So it's the emotional weight that is shaping our sense of right and wrong here. Another interesting way of looking at emotivism is through the lens of evolution. So we might have certain emotional responses because they have helped us survive. So when groups have cared about empathy, betrayal, taking care of the vulnerable people, over time, natural selection probably favored these people because it helped them survive. So just like when we feel fear when we see a snake, we might feel wrongness when we see cruelty. And it could be just an instinctual thing that we have that I believe would stem from emotions. Another interesting way to look at morality in a emotivist way is to picture it as another emotional dimension. So thanks to our friendly neighborhood atheist, Alex O'Connor, in his debate with Craig Biddle, he gave a very interesting way of looking at it. Think about the emotion anxiety. It's made up of fear, excitement, uncertainty, all mixed together, and we call that anxiety. What if moral judgments worked in the same way? So if you kick somebody's dog, they might feel mad, disgust, empathy, and protectiveness, and that cocktail of emotions could create a specific emotional response that we might label as wrong or immoral. So maybe there isn't any moral discovery to be had, but just another emotion to be named. It's not some hidden property in the action that's wrong, it's just something that you experience. That sums up the video. If you want to learn more about emotivism, look up AJ Ayer or Charles Stevenson. And please like and subscribe. If you have any critiques towards emotivism, comment them below and I'll respond to them.